freaking do that. I'm always muted when I start my show. It is what it is. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the Tbs Network. Thank you all for watching on this Thursday. I know I'm out of sync. I've been out of sync for a couple of weeks, to be perfectly honest with you. But as we say on this channel and No DQ and the Great Trade Brand and another channel I'll get to in just a minute, it is what it is. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. You already know that. If you're here watching, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Joining me for the first segment today, as well as our special Ask Me Anything that we do each and every week on Talk Wrestling, being joined today by the one and only, the Renegade himself, JJ Williams. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, sir. You are muted as well. Let's see if we can. There we go.
There we go. I'm doing well, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you today on this off-date edition of Talk Wrestling.
Yes, quite so. It's good to be back in front of a live camera. You know, I kind of took an unintended week off last week from most of the live stuff. I did do the recap last weekend with you. I enjoyed that. I did. I think I did a live show last Thursday. I don't remember what the hell I did last week. I know I did the Greg Cherry show yesterday, which is my first live show this week. I do apologize again to the recent birthday boy. Stat Boy, of course, had a birthday on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Mikey.
Yes.
We'll
Happy
be doing
birthday, Stat Boy. Cheers to you. It is only water. I am not getting drunk. This isn't the sports bar, but happy birthday to you, my brother from another mother.
No, it is not the sports bar, but we will today be covering part of that show, and we'll get there in a little while. I'm trying to pin these the streams to. There we go. There it is. All right, can we make that happen? Come on, Facebook. We're live, pal, as always. Okay, so that one did it pretty easy. Can we do maybe?
Bueller.
Yeah, right. I know it's on. 1, 2, is this on? I know it's on because I see the reactions. So I know. There we go. There's the feed for that. Pin to the profile. Very good. All right. So now we can get rid of all that crap. All right. So on this week's show, as I mentioned, JJ will be with us for segment 1. Segment 1 is going to be something that even JJ can sink his into in wrestling, and current wrestling at that, because they kind of are both a throwback topic. AJ Lee, AJ Mendez, and Tessa Blanchard are back in the game. Yes, they are. We'll get to that very first thing. And then we'll talk about Impact Wrestling's new championship that isn't really new and up to date, or is it too soon, too little too late? We'll talk about that in segment 1. Segment 2, Stat Boy Sports Bar, Stat Boy Sports Update, and we'll get into the full NFL, NHL, and MLB coverage. So stay tuned for that if you're one of the sports folks here on the channel. We appreciate that. We'll take another break, and then we'll do our AEW roundup. And yeah, I said roundup for a very important reason. If you know about the main event last night, you know what I'm talking about. And we'll finish up with our WWE Draft Recap and what's to come in the world of the McMahons, including an attendance by somebody in this window right now, next Friday in Ontario. And no, it's not the guy who lives close to Ontario. So we'll get to that. And then we'll finish off. We'll bring JJ back in. We'll do Ask Dads Anything, since we'll both be here. We'll do Ask Dads Anything at the very end of the show. That's what we'll do today. So thank you very much. Right off the top of the bat, I'll go ahead and throw it up there since he's in here before we actually started anything. I'm not going to do this the rest of the show, because what I'm going to do is, boom, there you go. If you want to ask me anything, throw me off, go for it. Otherwise, we'll be at the end. But if you want to super chat, I'll go ahead and interrupt my stream here. But Tim says, evening, gentlemen, greetings from rainy North Carolina. This isn't wrestling related, but looks like the Dodgers advance, but they will have their hands full with the Giants in Atlanta. We've had our hands full with the Giants since 1930-something, or whatever the hell the rivalry started back in New York. Christ. Like, we can't shake those back. We couldn't catch them to save our blue and white behinds. But of all people, you know what? Screw it. Let's get into sports talk right now. I'll do it really quick here, and then we'll do the Dodgers chart real quick. So Chris Taylor, of all people, hits a walk-off last night after, me getting into a really nasty row with my brother-in-law about the benefits of Chris Taylor and his strikeoutness. Some bitch hits a 2-run walk-off yesterday, puts the Dodgers into the division series. So my bad, Ken. Chris Taylor did good last night. Bravo to the Dodgers. And now they move on, and they're facing – who are they facing? I'm guessing they're facing the Giants in the first round or the division series. I didn't really pay attention. I'll have to look at the bracket here. I had the bracket handy, so I might as well go ahead and use it, right? Sports. There it is. All right. So, yeah, we got the Giants. Oh, goody. So it is, as our buddy Christian says, baseball civil war. It is our legendary civil war in the world of baseball. Vamos Dyers. We'll get the full MLB coverage later. But yes, congratulations to the boys in blue. As far as the boys in red that do a little further south in the 5, God damn it, get your shit together before next season. I'm begging you, Angels. Give me a break. Need a little divine intervention, baby. All right. So, JJ, it's funny how our coming back together on the air here the last year and a half coincides with people that we watched before you stopped watching full time seem to be filtering their way back into the business. We had Bryan Danielson, not Daniel Bryan, back on TV, damn it, and working for AEW. CM Punk returns to the business after 7 years. And yesterday, if you weren't living under a rock or you weren't paying attention to current wrestling information, we have 2 very, very big names back in wrestling full-time. First off, let's talk about AJ. AJ Mendez / Brooks / Lee, whatever you would like to call her this week, is going to be an executive producer and a color commentator for Women of Wrestling, based here in Los Angeles. And I didn't know this until last night, but they are actually co-owned by the owner of the Lakers, Jeannie Buss, which I did not know until reading the press releases. So if the Buss family is involved and AJ Mendez is involved, it's the wrong company, but I'm all in. Because much as you and I go back and forth on the Lakers post Shaq's departure, let me just say it that way, so I don't get myself in too much trouble with people out there. Every reason he's a freaking martyr, so I'm just going to stay off that shit. But prior to that, in the era of Showtime and everything in between, Dr. Jerry Buss was the owner of the Lakers as well as the Kings for a number of years. So I have a reverence for the Buss family. I cried my bloody eyes out when Randy Newman came on and saying, "You got a friend in me" at his memorial. To this day, it makes me well up like a friggin' baby. And so if Jeannie is the caretaker of that legacy and she's helping overseeing WOW, I will be a huge supporter of this going forward. And not only is AJ Mendez back in wrestling, but we finally saw somebody fall into place and settle in that's been a pariah, for lack of a better term, since her departure from Impact Wrestling. And she went literally face to face with the WOW champion, the Beast, at the press conference yesterday. Tessa Blanchard is back in business. As a fan of CM Punk's era and the beginning of the Divas Revolution, if you will, first of all, let me ask you, what do you think of AJ coming back after 6 years away?
I think it's a nice touch, I mean, me and you were kind of chit-chatting about this a little bit off the air, but it's going to be interesting to see if she does, in fact, stay behind the scenes, behind the microphone.
Right.
Or if she gets that little itch to get back in the ring, After his stroke, nobody thought we'd see Bret Hart in a ring, yet he became United States champion, so
yeah, but
say that with that forbidden door that maybe we won't see AJ Lee or Tessa Blanchard walk into AEW, considering the fact that her husband is there.
I mean, if she can, because if you've read her memoir, which I had the ability to do, I was thankful to do that. She's got the cervical spine issues, which has been plaguing many people. Plagues Austin to this day. Plagued Edge, he came back. Plagues Paige to this day. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm already seeing the value of a marquee, Adam Cole and Britt Baker versus CM Punk and AJ Mendez. Just throwing it out there. So I mean, that's money for me on an interpromotional pay-per-view, but I'm booking ahead of myself, aren't I? Because we're not going to see AJ back until 2022, because if she's on camera, it'll be on the TV show, which is going to launch at the end of next year, it looks like. So, we got a whole year to wait if we see her on TV at all, unless, as you said, she crosses through that forbidden door into AEW, the NWA, Impact Wrestling, which she's never been a part of before. So Punk did. Punk was in Impact back in the day when he was working with Ring of Honor. So, and of course, Tessa Blanchard, yes, she worked with Impact. They had the whole, travel drama and all the holdups and whatever. But, as we've seen, you and I, many, many times over the years, time seems to heal wounds. It really does. And I think Tessa being back in Impact isn't so, it's not going to happen. It very well could happen. I also have zero problem with her, I don't know, joining up with the Pinnacle, joining up with her father and FTR and Max and Wardlow. The beautiful part about Tony basically saying the forbidden door is no longer forbidden is that we could conceivably see any of these talents in any of these companies as long as everybody's on the same page. And I said this, whatever it was, a little over a year ago when I really kicked it into high gear for year 2 here on the channel. That whole Pro Wrestling USA thing always sticks right here in the back of my bald head because Vern Gagne and Jim Crockett and them tried this in the 80s to battle Vince. And what they fail to realize, you're not battling Vince. You're not going to touch Vince. You're not going to. You have to work with one another and just make yours, what did Bischoff always say? Different than. Not lesser than. Don't try to be better than just yet. Be different than. And these guys are doing that. And I think that with these ladies, especially AJ at the forefront, people tend to forget that the women's evolution thing started with a promo that she cut on Monday Night Raw against all the other divas.
Very much so. Very much so. And, you see what happened there in WWE shortly after that. And the evolution, if you will, that the Divas division has taken over the years. Bianca and Sasha main eventing WrestleMania this year. 10, 12 years ago, when AJ was still very active in the game, you never would have thought you would have seen that.
No, the fact that the women main event in WrestleMania a couple years ago with Becky and Charlotte, and yes, Ronda Rousey was a huge part of that, don't get me wrong. But the fact that women main evented a night of WrestleMania, be it night 1 or the night, 2 years out of the last 3 now, major.
Yeah.
And yes, I did see Tessa's new shirt about it saying nuclear, which is just, I love that. I want to buy like 20 of them just because people shit so bad on Tessa for all the stuff that went down with her on Impact. I have, and all the, she was this behind the scenes. You know what? I said it then. I'll say it now. None of y'all were backstage. None of y'all saw that. If somebody watching this show was there for that, please come on and tell me I'm wrong. I would love to hear your side of that story. I'm not looking for a clickbait or whatever. I just want to hear a genuine, okay, I was here. Here's what went down. Yeah. Until then, she's one of the best in the game. She's the only person besides the whole sexy star Lucha Underground thing or whatever to hold the championship, the world's championship in a wrestling promotion in North America. So she was the Impact World Champion. Nobody else can say they were WWE champion, AEW champion yet, NWA champion, none of them. She's the one. So if she's with a company, I'm watching that company. And the fact is, like I said, we saw this standoff right away. Night 1, she's back in, and she's face-to-face with the champion. And we saw the little group gathering afterwards of everybody involved there. I love the smile on AJ's face, man. She is just so, look at the smile here. She is just like, I don't remember her seeing that kind of smile on her face the last, granted, 14 months was WWE. She was, riding the, oh my God, my husband walked out. Oh shit. So, but she looks genuinely happy, and I'm very happy for her. And that's
very
what
much elated.
And, I love that shot because you and I, we both know where that is. That's on that freaking little sky slide thing over there in downtown LA that I ain't going near because I ain't got no balls. But the girl, it's very much an LA based, LA atmosphere promotion. And I love that, the city's embracing it. I love, like I said, I did not know Jeannie was involved. If I'd known that, I probably would have watched a lot sooner because I adore the Bus family so much to this day. So, but that group right there, there's your core group. You got Tessa, you got AJ behind the scenes, you got the Beast as the champion. And who knows what we're going to see now that we've got AJ on board. We got AJ as a producer, and we've got the money of the Bus family. Should be interesting 2022 once that relaunches. I'm looking forward to it.
Most definitely.
So the next topic before we go to commercial, I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible, but Impact launch a new championship. That's the tournament starts actually on tonight's episode, if I believe. Actually, it started this week on their digital platforms. So it's going into Bound for Glory. But the Impact Digital Media Championship. Let me turn off the banner off here so you can see. The new champion will be crowned coming up at Bound for Glory on October 23rd, which, of course, I'll be 23rd. I'll be in the Bahamas, I think. I don't know if we'll be on the boat coming back or if I'll actually be in the Bahamas at that point during the cruise. But some point during the cruise, we'll be Bound for Glory in Vegas. And my question to you, again, you were a fan of Impact before Impact became the place of the brothers, if you will. So is this like too little too late? Because they're having a digital media championship. That's great that they're having a championship based solely on their Impact Plus, Impact, whatever platforms. But all the companies stream on platforms now. WWE has their own network, for crying out loud. They've got AEW that streams on different platforms now. Is this Impact looking like they're playing catch up? They're behind the times, or am I just reading too much into that?
It could be. I mean, granted, with as long as I've been out of the game, I don't know the answer to this. But does another major, keyword major,
right,
wrestling promotion have a essentially online championship, a championship that is only defended on online medias?
No.
And if the answer is no, then this could be a big thing for Impact because it's going to bring traffic to YouTube or wherever it is that they're going to have the shows that this is going to be defended on.
Right.
Which in turn can then bring more eyes to the television product.
True.
Which in turn will bring more eyes to the pay-per-views.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be behind that proverbial paywall on Impact Plus and the other paid stuff. So you do have to pay to see this title, which isn't, I guess, putting it that way, it's not a bad marketing idea, really. It's just people have to pay for the pay-per-view, so you have to pay to see the champion be crowned, but then you have to be subscribed to see the champion defend the title every week or every show or whatever the case may be, which, again, like you said, in theory, brings up subscription count, which is never a bad thing, especially when Impact Plus and whatever, figure the NWA is exclusively on platforms. They're on Fight TV and on pay-per-view. So you don't see them on regular TV. Dave Marquez, he's on cable TV throughout the country, kind of like the old syndication platform that WWF used to run back in the day, but they are very much online too. They have their primetime live every week. So
see, and if enough people like you with your talk wrestling platform, like your boss, Rift, can help get behind the platform a little bit and make it known to your subscribers and your viewers that this is going on.
Right.
That's going to bring more people. Back in my younger days, Shunny,
that's it.
NWA TNA Impact was the alternative. It was decent television.
Yes.
Pioneering of the X divisions, not about weight limits. It's about no limits. You would never find matches where Samoa Joe is going to be going in there against the cruiserweights, essentially.
Right.
But Joe wrecked shit in the X division.
Say, he belonged, damn it.
And I'm sorry, but ever since he came to WWE, he's been struggling to get his footing.
Very much so.
But you couldn't put him on a 205 Live because that's got a weight limit.
Yep. The fact that they sent him back to NXT, had him win the title, and went, never mind, you're injured. No, you just don't want to use the platform the right way. Now, granted, I'm not going to ever crap on the NXT champion because they got a great setup down there with Ciampa being champion, and they got Rick Steiner's son as the contender, which has been a great boost for his career and for the brand for me. But yeah, Joe really did. I'm dinging. Why am I dinging? No, I don't really care. Great. That's super. I don't really give a shit. Thanks for playing. Yeah, Joe has definitely started to step in WWE. I hope that whenever they bring him back, however they bring him back, is better than what they've done with him. This digital media thing on Impact, like I said, I had a very cynical view of it. So that's why I wanted you to be on, because you had a better perspective kind of from the quote unquote outside looking in. So I'm greatly appreciative of that perspective, and I will definitely be curious to see how the tournament unfolds. I am subscribed to Impact Plus, for the record. I just haven't had a chance to hop on there and check out the matches yet. So I will definitely be checking that out over, maybe not this weekend. We're a little busy, you and I, this weekend. And we'll get to that at the very end of the show after Ask Dad's Anything. But
I mean, at the end of the day, if I was a promoter and if I was trying to use social media as my platform to get the word out, I would have some kind of championship that could only be seen defended on those platforms. You know, it's gonna draw eyes and views to the product and shares and subscription buys, and you know, the runs of the ladder just get climbed better at the end of the way.
It's one of those things where, you know, Zack Ryder's Internet Championship all of a sudden seems really relevant right about now, before he became the GCW King of the Deathmatch. Matt Cardona. God bless Matt for that. All right. Well, JJ, I appreciate you coming on for this segment. We're going to take our first break of the day here, and I'll go ahead and have you stick around and at least watch this part of the break because it ties very much to you, sir. We'll be right back here on the Jeff Meacham Network and Talk Wrestling after these two words, one of which is from our buddy over here at the Castine Studios. Button, good stuff. Okay, take two.
Haddonfield, 1978. The night he came home.
When you're a kid, you learn to fear the boogeyman. I never thought I'd find out why.
And there you go, everybody. There it is. You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, premiering October 13th, exclusively on the Dark Crown Films YouTube. Check them out, youtube.com/Dark Crown Films. And as you saw prior to that, Renegades Reviews is reviewing the classic horror movies all month long. You can catch the replay of JJ's review of The Mummy right here on the Jeff Meacham Network tomorrow at this time slot, pretty much 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on the Jeff Meacham Network. Of course, catch his original review, at 6 o'clock. Get the man's numbers up. We need to get him some YouTube money, damn it. All right, so we now transition into the sports talk part of the show because I didn't do Stat Boy Sports Bar. So this portion of the show, of course, is brought to you by Stat Boy Sports Bar and not really our sponsor. I just called back because I bought the damn bottle. A little bit of the bubbly from Chris Jericho and AEW. Why is this thing keep clicking on me? Go away. Go away. Thank you. Of course, we've got the Major League Baseball postseason starting tonight. Matter of fact, Chicago and Houston are playing right now. Go White Sox. Bunch of cheating bastards, Houston. We've got Boston playing Tampa Bay later. We've got the Braves playing Milwaukee. And, of course, the Dodgers. We talked about the top stop of the show. The Dodgers are playing the San Francisco Giants. Wow, that's how far back I went. And, yes, hockey is back. NHL is back on the air next Tuesday night. I believe they're on ESPN. They may be on Warner. I have to double check that, but I think they're on ESPN on Tuesday. The Penguins against the champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the new team, the Seattle Kraken, are facing our buddy Bailey's Vegas Golden Knights. So that'll be Tuesday night. The Kings, I'm not sure when their first game is as far as regular season. I know they play next Saturday, the 16th, because I'll be there. Other than that, I'm not sure when they are back on regular season. I know they played in Anaheim last night. They beat the damn Ducks, which is always great, so good on them. And then coming up the night before last, they lost to Arizona. Preseason, so it doesn't matter. I know one of our kids got a hat trick, and Carlin, God bless her, did someone got a puck for you? He's like, it's preseason, but it was his first hat trick in a Kings uniform, so I guess they felt it was important. Obviously, he did not. All right, so let's get into. Really quickly, we'll get into the rankings here. Provided, of course, by Statboy himself. As far as the NFL, at the bottom of the heap, they suck. Jacksonville Jaguars, God bless them. They're trying. They really are. That's a very loud trash truck going by. Cool. Good to know. Am I still on mic here? Okay, I'm not. Okay, there we go. All right, I'll make sure. Ahead of them, and that's very loud. Hang on a second, folks. All right, sorry about that. Trash truck went by. We got out. All right. After that, the Detroit Lions, then the Jets, who just actually won a game the other night. I was very surprised. They actually won this last week, so good on them. Miami's ahead of them. Then Houston, followed by Pittsburgh. Let's see here. New England Patriots are down at number 26. Let's see. The Colts are above them. The Falcons, I think they actually won a game. Good on them. The Giants are still near the bottom, which I always love. The Eagles, even better that they're near the bottom. Minnesota is next, and then New Orleans. And that brings us into the top 19. New Orleans is number 20. At 19, we have Tennessee Titans, Statboy's current resident team. At the next spot, number 18, the Washington, can't say the real name, the football team from Washington, D.C. Then the Seattle Seahawks, followed by the San Francisco 49ers. At number 15, we have the Chiefs, and then the Bears at number 14 from Chicago. Denver at number 13, the Broncos. My paternal side's hometown, Cincinnati Bengals at number 12. And at number 11, the Packers. Into the top 10 we go. Number 10, the Squatters themselves, Los Angeles Chargers, my mistake. Number 9, Carolina Panthers. Number 8, the Cleveland Browns. Number 7, the ever nomadic Las Vegas Raiders. Number 6, Baltimore Ravens. In the top 5, our boys, the LA Rams. Yeah, buddy, I love that. Number 4, falling down for a couple spots, it looks like. The champions, the Buccaneers. Number 3, America's team. The Cowboys are in the top 3 this week. Number 2, still going strong, Buffalo. And number 1, to my knowledge, still the only undefeated team, we have the Arizona Cardinals. That is what is coming. That's the results. Let me get into the pick'em for Mikey. That's my name again. Hi, how are you? So Mikey's pick'em as of the Southboy Sports Bar pick'em, as of this last week, in first place with 10 correct position picks, JP back on front. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way tie for second with 9 picks with Emmanuel, Daniel, Heather, Will, Dory, and the other Mike. In 8th place with 8 picks is Pop, Jerry, JJ's dad. In 9th place, tied myself, Tammy, and Jen with 7 picks. And rounding out the pick'em this week with at number 12 with 6 picks each, JJ and Nathan. In the overall standings, it looks like this. JP is ahead of the pack by 1 spot with 39 picks correct over the course of the season. I don't know why I put 3rd place because he's by himself, but in 2nd place, 1, 2, 3-way tie with 38 picks, Heather, Daniel, and Emmanuel. In 2nd, 3rd, 4th, there we go. 5th place with 37 picks, Jen. In 6th place, a tie between myself and Tammy with 36 picks each. And 8th place with 33 picks, tie between Nathan, Jerry, Will, and Dory. In 12th place with 32 picks is the other Mike. And rounding out the pick'em overall, our buddy the Renegade with 30 picks. Keep in mind, though, JJ is not a football fan as a rule. He is competing as a favor, as a thank you to his brother, my brother, Uncle Goofy, Mikey, if you will, for running the pick'em. All right, so there we are. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so that is what is to come. NFL starts tonight. I forget who the game is, so you'll have to forgive me here while I look because I really want to make sure I get this right. Okay, sounds good. Let's see. NFL Week 5. There we go. Thank you. So tonight's game is actually the Rams in Seattle. They're playing up in Seattle tonight. So go Rams, go. And as I said, the Major League Baseball postseason is underway right now. Let me see if I can get the scores up here. So the Astros are leading Chicago 6-0. Good job, you guys. You suck, Chicago. And Boston and Tampa play tonight at 5:07 local time. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. But yeah, the Astros are up 6-0. Nice job, White Sox. You guys stink. So the rest of the playoffs are as such. Milwaukee and Atlanta start tomorrow at 1:37 local time. That's 4:30 East. The Dodgers and the Giants start tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern, or maybe that's 6:30. Is it East or what? So what does it say? All times are, doesn't say. Anyway, those games start tomorrow between the Giants and the Dodgers, and I think that's it for the starting series. So MLB is underway, and as I said, NHL week 1. There we go. That's what I want. Thank you. As I said, we've got Seattle and Vegas coming up after Pittsburgh and Tampa. And then let's see what else is going on that day. Montreal and Ottawa is on the 7th. No, that's tonight's. God, pay attention, Jeff. I'm so exhausted. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, Florida and, Pittsburgh and Tampa at 7:30 Eastern, and then Seattle at Vegas at 10 o'clock Eastern Tuesday. Wednesday is Montreal at Toronto, the Rangers at the Capitals, the Jets at the Ducks, the Blackhawks at the Avalanche, and the Canucks at Edmonton. And then I don't see the King. There they are. The Kings' first game is going to be actually next Thursday, a week from tonight in Los Angeles, opening night against Vegas. That'll be coming up on Thursday, a week from tonight, the 14th. And then, of course, they're back here Saturday to play Minnesota, which I'll be at. Very excited about that. That's what's coming up in NHL, Major League Baseball, and the National Football League, all coming up in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you for putting up with our sports stuff here, if you're not a sports, quote-unquote, real sports fan. So we appreciate you putting up with it because I wanted to make sure I got that in for Mikey. We'll take another quick break right now here on the network. So stay tuned. We'll be back after another quick little couple announcements from our buddies at Paradise Kitty and that production.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Whoa, we shine. Yeah, they're loaded like a freight train, flying like an aeroplane. Speeding like a space brain one more time tonight. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Welcome to the jungle. Watch it bring you to your knees. Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? I wanna go. I wanna know. Oh, won't you please take me home, baby?
Morning. Sorry to bother you so early on a Saturday. Are you, John Tate?
I am. Is everything okay?
Are you familiar with Joanne Harrison?
She's a friend and a colleague of mine. Why, is something wrong?
Well, Mr. Tate, her body was found inside her home last night, completely cut up. You wouldn't have to know anything about that, would you?
Michael Myers didn't die in 78 because 22 years ago tonight, he found her. But if he has returned, and if we don't do something soon, the people in this town are going to be in real danger.
After all this time, you're still alive. That ends tonight.
I was not counting the whole time, so you missed all I just said. So let me just try that again. Jesus Christ. All right, so there you go. Haddonfield Nightmare coming up October 29th. That's on YouTube. You saw the disclaimer there at their website, so check them out there. That's the last Friday before Halloween, of course. But before that, our girls at Paradise Kitty coming up. Big month leading up to their joining myself, my father, the AEW roster, and a whole bunch more on the Jericho Cruise. They're in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Monster on the Mountain, the Ranch Concert Hall in Fort Myers, Florida, and Piper's Pub in Pompano Beach, Florida. All right. On the topic of AEW, let's go ahead and get into AEW discussion because a lot of things went down in AEW just last night. We saw the return of Hangman Adam Page. He once again won the Casino Battle Royale to earn himself a championship match at his discretion. I got to believe this is his time. He's won this thing twice now, right? He won the first one and came up short against Jericho. I believe this. He may have lost to Moxley. I forget who I don't even know who challenged, to be honest with you. I don't know if he used this or not. So help me out. Run me if you didn't or not, guys. But we've been saying on the NoDQ brand for a while, we've been saying all along, period, that this is definitely Hangman's time. He is well overdue for a run as the champion of AEW. He is, in my opinion, the top guy in the company to not have been in that main event picture for very, very long. So he's got to be, for me, that guy. We also got the introduction officially of the TBS Championship, which will be akin to the Women's Championship secondary, as is the TNT Championship to the men's secondary title. So when Dynamite does indeed move to TBS coming up in January, this will likely be exclusive to the women's division on Wednesday nights. And I got to believe with Rampage staying on TNT, we're going to see the TNT title become much more prevalent than it already is. And that's huge right now with, people like Cody and Brody Lee and Darby Allin and Miro and now Sammy Guevara holding that championship. You got to think the TBS champion, the women's champion, is going to be constantly that contender knocking at the heels of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And we learned officially last night that Bobby Fish is indeed all elite, so good on him. One half of Red Dragon, of course, the other half being Kyle O'Reilly, who is still as of now under contract to NXT. We'll see if that persists or if we see Bobby Fish be joined by Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole's already there, and Bobby Fish is there, so maybe an undisputed reunion coming up in AEW if Kyle O'Reilly doesn't like the way the waters are treading in AEW in NXT. So Kyle O'Reilly could very well jump. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of people that are on that. Are we going to see them move up to the main roster? Are we going to see them leave for AEW? So a lot of things can happen. But yeah, getting back to Hangman Page before I go on to the Rampage talk real quick. Hangman's been kind of absent a while from TV. So I'm curious how far they go with, okay, he's earned this opportunity. Will we see him cash in successfully on that opportunity, or will he falter? I'm very, very curious how they're going to play this out going forward with Hangman, because I'm a huge fan of Page. I always have been. I feel he should have been in the main event picture this entire time. So the fact that he hasn't been, it's kind of silly for my money. But hopefully with this win on last night's Dynamite, we'll see him get in that main event picture where he, in my opinion, belongs. And again, it's my show, of course, my opinion, right? So tomorrow over on TNT, we have another episode of Rampage. It's an hour show, so this is probably going to be your entire card, which I'm fine with. You got a great card there. You got Punk versus Daniel Garcia, a tag title match, Lucha Brothers and the Acclaimed, which is a great tag team match there. Sky Blue and Jade Cargill, who Jade has just looked unstoppable since she debuted. And then you got an actual FTW championship match. It's a street fight in Philly. Hello, Philadelphia FTW title. It's gonna be a rocket buster, as the FTW creator would say. We've got Ricky Starks defending against Brian Cage. If you've read the spoilers, good on you. I'm very happy for you. You can read, but I'm gonna watch tomorrow and see how it goes down, because anytime any company goes back to Philly, there's ECW stuff going on somewhere, somehow. So the fact that the FTW title is being defended in Philadelphia, you're probably going to see some sort of ECW stuff. It would not surprise me one bit if Taz comes out there and we get, somebody trotted out there who can barely walk because they're extreme shenanigans back in the day. But it's all good. I'm all about it. So I look forward to Rampage tomorrow. I'm actually going to try to watch Impact tonight if I get the opportunity, because I want to see this Impact digital media thing kind of explained, if they are going to explain. I don't know. I haven't watched Impact in a couple weeks, so I'm looking forward to it at the top of the next hour. But I'll have to watch it after I watch what we're going to talk about later. So, all right, another break. I know I'm taking breaks like crazy, but I want to have proper transitions, because coming up after this break, which will be very short, actually. Where's my videos? There they are. Yeah, after this break, we'll have our WWE discussion, and then we'll get into the Ask Dads Anything. So we'll bring JJ back for that. But we'll be back right here after this, after a brief message once again from our friends at the Casa 18 Studios and another friend from recent and old memories. We'll be right back. Gotta love that, right? That's so awesome. Congratulations to our friend Nikki Stevens. She is just awesome. You can check her out at the Pasadena Playhouse coming up in November, all the way through December 12th in Head Over Heels, the music of the Go-Go's. You gotta love it. Get your tickets now. If you're in the area, you gotta check them out over at PasadenaPlayhouse.org. Sign up to get your tickets. And yeah, we'll talk about Pasadena here after the last break. Don't worry about that. We'll get more into Pasadena later on, but definitely check her out. She is a wonderful friend of the channel. And when I say guitar constructor extraordinaire, I don't exaggerate a bit. So let me just throw it out there now. I'm not just throwing it out there as a line. And yes, you did see in November, JJ is bringing back the Tom Hanks reviews with more. The fact that we've gotten either 60 or 61 Tom Hanks reviews this year, he's got a lot of movies. And we love Tom Hanks for that, so that's okay. So definitely going to check him out in November. All right, WWE, here we go. God help me. So the draft, it happens every so often. It seems like it's not every year, even though for some reason it was at one point, and then it wasn't, then it was. There's the breakdown right there. Let me go ahead and get the banner out of the way so you can see every single person picked in this crazy draft. Now, for me, I really don't see any, oh my God, money moments. However, they do need to reconcile the fact that the Raw Women's Champion and the SmackDown Women's Champion are on opposite shows. That is ridiculous. I don't know why they keep it like that. I don't know why they choose to go that route, but they did. And Aaron made a good point the other night on social media. They broke up every women's tag team. Like every single one except the actual champions. Rhea and Nikki are still on the same brand, but every other female tag team contender is now either on separate brands or they're just completely broken up in storyline. Nia and Shayna, for example, broke up before the draft officially, and now Nia, of course, is out on injury thanks to Shayna, along with Eva Marie, which thank God for that. Eva Marie wasn't drafted at all, which I find extraordinarily funny. And yet Doudrop was, so there you go. Other than that, I really don't see anything like stand out. I'm happy for Xia Li. She's being called up to the main roster. Good on her. Same with Austin Theory, who is a standout talent, has been in NXT for a while. He's going to do good things, I feel, on the main roster. They're finally focusing more on Liv Morgan, but she's been on the main roster forever, it feels like, so good on her. They officially ended the last remnants of the Retribution stable, which is always a good thing. So it's really one of those, you have to wait and see till it plays out, because I don't know what is next. I do know that we're going into the Crown Jewel pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia coming up in actually 2 weeks from today, October 21st. So there you go. Those are the 5 matches announced for now, as well as the finals of both the King of the Ring tournament and the Queen's Crown tournament. Now, I know they're going to start that tournament this coming week on SmackDown, so which would be tomorrow night on Fox. And I know they announced the matches earlier. I don't have them in front of me. I don't really care right now. I just want to kind of go over it really quick. I'm ecstatic they brought King of the Ring back. If they don't have it be Xavier Woods, they're missing a cruise line ship, not a boat. They're not missing the boat. They're missing the cruise line at this point, because he has been advocating for that like it's going out of style, which it has been, by the way. So Woodsy should be the King of the Ring. As far as Queen, I mean, how do you not give that crown to Shayna Baszler right now? She is the hottest talent right now, as far as, she's been treading water for a while, but she's picked up a major amount of momentum, taking out 2 people, and she is back to her badass MMA, nipping at Ronda's heels type persona. So I am all for her becoming the Queen of the Ring. She's already the Queen of Spades. Why not have her be the Queen of the Ring? Wear that Queen's crown and make both Charlotte and Becky go, because keep in mind, Becky beat Shayna at WrestleMania 2 WrestleManias ago now, and then she went off for the pregnancy. So I have always felt Shayna should have won the title that night. So do not be surprised if Shayna wins that tournament and goes, hi, Bex, remember me? And it should be at that point that Becky loses the championship to Shayna Baszler. Again, going over the draft, let me just bring it back up here so I can see with my own 2 eyes here. I like the idea of Bianca being on a new brand, and it's cool that she's with Angelo and Montez. One big, happy little family there. The Mysterios are both on Raw. People talk, they should break them up. No, they need to break up in an angle, not in a draft. That's money being lost if they don't split them up in a storyline. And I know, you don't want to see a father and a son turn. Yeah, you do. You 100% do. That's money. It's money in the bank, as they would say in WWE. So definitely got to have that happen. And I like that they're keeping, Corbin and Riddick Moss, Madcat, was it Madcat Moss? Yeah, what a dumbass name. I mean, I like Riddick, but that's a horrible, horrible name. JJ coming in from the chat room. I'll go ahead and throw it up there. What about Liv for Queen of the Ring? It'd be a great way to push her after keeping her stagnant for so long. Yes, I would say put her in the finals and have Shayna still win, because Shayna needs to be the champion. Shayna's needed to be the champion since WrestleMania 2 WrestleManias ago, when she lost to Becky and Becky was on her way out. I think if they'd known Becky was pregnant, they'd have given the title to Shayna and just had it run. Because think about it. Shayna wins the title. Asuka still wins the briefcase. Then you've got a money feud there, because Asuka was still cooking with gas at that point. So you've got Shayna and Asuka there to go however long you want to go with that feud, because those two can go, at least back then. Asuka's kind of lost a lot of steam lately, which is why she's also injured right now, so she's off TV. But, again, I'm all about Liv. I love Liv Morgan. She was great. She's been a great personality on the air, and her in the finals and just coming up short works for me more than putting the crown on her for my money. So anyway, that's enough WWE talk. I'm kind of over it. But I will say this. 1 week from tomorrow, I spoke about WWE being out here. There it is. We're going to be at the Toyota Arena, the home of the Ontario Reign. Yes, that is the Kings minor league affiliate. I will now have been to their arena 3 different times and still haven't seen the Reign play. I feel like a terrible Kings fan, but it is what it is. So we'll see SmackDown, and that's gonna be my second SmackDown out there. I think I went there for one. I can't remember what it was now, but my second SmackDown out of Ontario. I mean, $20 for a ticket in that place is not bad. There is not a bad seat in that arena for hockey or for wrestling, for my money. So if you're in the area and you have the desire, come out and see SmackDown. It's going to be the last SmackDown before the draft picks actually take effect, because they take effect the night after Crown Jewel, which is the 21st. So come on out to SmackDown. Come out and see yours truly at the arena. buy me a drink if you dare. I'll be with my brother, so probably not a good idea. But because I actually have to navigate home from Ontario, which is flipping far from me. All right, one more break, and then we'll bring on JJ for the Ask Not Meech Anything. This week. It'll be Ask Dads Anything. We will be right back. And again, that's coming up on Mickey's birthday, November 18th. I will be live from the happiest place on earth, if things work out the way I want to work out, at 7 o'clock, 4 Eastern, with a kind of a retrospective is the best way to put it, but I will be live on site for a good chunk of it. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. All right, we have brought JJ back into the room. JJ, first of all, Mickey's 93. He looks good for 93. I'm not going to lie.
I hope I look that good for 93.
Right?
I hope I look that good
they
at
have in the studio
53.
back there with the makeup and everything.
I hope I look that good for 53. Who am I kidding?
I always look that good tomorrow. Lordy. So, but yeah, it's, you very famously deemed it my Wusa place many, many years ago, and I've not been through the gates. By the time I get into the park that day, it'll be just 2 days shy of 2 full years, which is bullshit. So I'm over.
I still have yet to be into the main park,
right,
since COVID hit. I have been in DCA a couple times before they reopened because they had little shopping things that you could do in there,
right,
extensions of downtown Disney. And then I went this past year around my birthday time to actually go see Marvel Land, which was amazing.
I heard the Avengers Canvas is ridiculously good, so I'll definitely be checking that out. I also want to send out a well wish to our buddy Alexandria the Red, who actually slipped in a puddle over the campus and tweaked her knee all to poop. So that's why she had to miss her engagement with us last weekend this time slot. So we wish Alex well, and hopefully we'll get her back on before the year is over, because I definitely want to have her be part of that show as far as Mickey. And I asked people on social media what Mickey means to you, and I'll definitely get your thoughts on that as we get closer. You're going to be a huge part of that, because I definitely need a co-host to help out with that, because I can't do everything alone, 50 miles away from the house. It's a bitch. So but as we move on, let's see, where are my banners? There we are. So far, we only have one question. Actually came in over social media on Twitter earlier today, so we'll go ahead and throw it out there. This is I don't have the actual, fancy dad's version, but it is time for Ask Me Anything. So let's go ahead and throw it up there. And the first and only question, because you guys are poop heads, but it's okay, comes from our boy Chris Yuck at Mr. Yuck on Twitter. Could you name 3 things you like and dislike about today's WWE product, and like and dislike about AEW's? And what could Impact or NWA do, if anything, to catch up? Hui, a lot to unpack on that one. Good grief. All right. I'll tell you what I dislike about AEW. Number one is 2 main championships already in a 2-year span. And this is going to sound meaner than it needs to be. Too many castaways. They are signing every damn buddy. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but Impact did the exact same thing starting about 16 years ago. And I'm not going to say it was a bad idea to sign Christian Cage, because it wasn't, or to sign Kurt Angle, because it wasn't. But when you get to the point where you're signing enough people to form your own NWO twice, you got a little bit of a bloated roster. Now, The upside to that, as before I'll get you. The upside to that, as opposed to when TNA did it, is the forbidden door being open now. That's the key there. Christian Cage can go to Impact. Literally, he's the Impact World Champion right now. He can go through that door and stay fresh on other channels besides just being out in AEW every week. Now, do you send everybody through that door? Not necessarily. You don't want Punk to be going through the door every week, But Christian, your upper mid card, your lower main event guys, absolutely.
What I was going to say is the difference that I have seen is that pretty much everybody that TNA Impact did 16 years ago were, we'll say, upper mid-card main eventers.
Right.
And I don't feel like AEW has been getting those same caliber of names, with the exception of Bryan, Punk, etc.
Right.
Most of the guys they're going are guys that were lower mid-card in WWE and were smashing their heads on the ceiling to even get looked at for ICUS pushes.
Right. Exactly.
So for those guys to be coming in, I think it's a completely different ballgame because they're hungry.
True. Yeah, I again, you mentioned the main event talents were signed by Impact Wrestling. Christian, I think Christian honestly could have been that. He signed in just before Christian did, if I remember, before Angle did, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So
the Dudleys came, then Christian, then Kurt.
So the Dudleys and Christian could have been, though, and they were. You figure when the split happened from NWA, Team 3D were the champions. So they went, okay, well, there you go. And Christian, had he not lost the match at Sacrifice, would have been the world champion. So here you go. Kurt Angle, though, being Kurt Angle, was still hungry. He was hangry because he felt in his, he'll admit this himself, his pop and pill mind at the time that he was wrong by WWE for not letting him work and making him do the drug test or whatever. So he went to Dixie and to Impact to prove a point. However, out of it he was state of mind wise, he proved that point in spades. He won every title they have, literally every title they have for the men. He probably could have just dragged the women's title. What's that? At the same time. Yeah, he was the first simultaneous champion. He could have probably put on a wig and drag and done a Harvey and won the women's title. Nobody would have given a shit because Kurt friggin' Angle. The women's title. We still need that shirt. The women's title, Jeff. But Kurt Angle was, I feel, the lone exception. Christian,
I agree to Angle being the exception, but
Christian being a world champion twice over, yes. And now 3 times, if you figure the current reign he has now, all these years later. He was also, I think, tag team champion at one point. I don't remember 100% for sure. But never X Division champion. Didn't stay long enough to get that King of the Mountain /TV /Global / whatever the shit it was called by the time it was done title. But at that same token, they signed Tomko as well, strictly because he was Christian's boy. Yeah. And other than a tag title run with AJ that begun because of Pac-Man Jones's NFL, hooking him by the damn ankles bullshit, what did they do? Not a thing with him, really. The talent AEW has now, like you said, they've got Punk, they've got Danielson, Christopher Daniels and Frankie are popping back and forth. Chris Daniels is AEW's, for lack of a better term, AEW's John Laurinaitis as far as talent relations, but he's wrestling Impact again. Frankie is wrestling in both companies. He's the Elite Hunter. He's, given the Elite, a lot to think about in AEW, but he's back in Impact Wrestling. And God, did he shine Impact above anybody else. My goodness. He was the best around. The Karate Kid song said so, damn it. And he was the coolest wrestler alive. XMV said so, damn it. So I'm all about Frankie working anytime.
Most definitely.
But yeah, that's the difference. The guys that are signed to AEW that maybe aren't getting that giant spotlight on them on Wednesdays and Fridays. Well, hey, Thursday's wide open. Go work in Canada for a week or two. With Impact, go talk to Billy Corgan about NWA on Tuesdays. The world is open now. That's the thing. If you're not confined behind that big, steel door that is WWE. The world is your freaking oyster for your pro wrestler right now.
And that's a beautiful thing,
It is,
as
man.
far as dislikes about AEW, I definitely agree with you about the oversaturation of talent.
Yeah.
But like you said, you've got the open door, so that kind of helps remedy that some.
Right. And the other thing is, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and as far as WWE, what I dislike about WWE is the same thing I've been disliking about it for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the keeping the same people in the spots.
Yep.
Now, granted, okay, Roman's been elevated up since I was really watching.
Finally. Go.
But how long does it last?
Right.
I mean, people are already, as great as he has been, people are ready for him to lose.
Which I don't understand whatsoever. I don't get it. Like, I don't. You sit there and I'm gonna take on the Paul Heyman voice talking about Jim Crockett. You bitch and you moan and you kvetch, and then they do something and you still bitch and you moan and kvetch. They turned him heel. They put him with freaking Paul Heyman, and y'all still complain. I sat in that stadium with 50,000 other people with my John Cena gear on, folks, and I was still rooting for Roman Reigns because he's the guy right now. And I was maybe one of 5 people that when that damn music hits, like, oh God, not Lesnar, anybody but Lesnar. I'm not saying that Brock, in his current mutated form, if you will, is certifiably a killer because, when you have that kind of haircut, you have to be a killer. Otherwise, you look like that. So just saying. But like I always say, from the head up, he looks like an idiot. From the neck down, I'm not telling him he looks like an idiot. Yeah. Once Roman and Brock have their match in Saudi Arabia, or they have their feud, however it blows off, then what do you do? You've got nobody on that SmackDown roster right now that can really invigorate that reign, unlike Big E's reign. Big E's got a freaking pool, a freaking like giant, Roman Reigns mansion-style pool of talent to work with as WWE champion.
Can you throw up that draft image real quick?
Yeah, I will do that. I was just going to say, there's a lot more for Big E to work with right now than there is for Roman by leaps and, damn banners. Okay, here we go. I mean, somebody on Twitter was pointing out recently, on that side of the roster for SmackDown, you've got Drew McIntyre, obviously a contender, but he's, working with Big E in Saudi Arabia because the draft won't take effect yet by then. Jeff Hardy is always a perennial contender, right? Nakamura and Kingston both, but Kingston has been more of a tag team guy. So you've got really Jeff Hardy, Nakamura, who by right is the number one contender. He's an Intercontinental champion, right? So, I mean, by definition, he, belong. Although I think that's wrong because I'm pretty sure, yeah, Damian, where's Damian? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Damian Priest and Nakamura actually split shows. So I think Nakamura's on Raw. I could be wrong about that. Either way, either Nakamura or Priest is by right the number one contender to their brand's world title. So you've got those two guys. I mean, who else? I mean, Sheamus, that's kind of a, like, okay, sure, why not? SmackDown is in trouble if they have a contender pool for Roman Reigns.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the names, and granted, I don't know what they're doing right now. So,
right.
But I'm looking and I'm seeing Cesaro. I'm seeing Corbin. I'm seeing...
I didn't see those two. Thank you for...
Jinder Mahal.
Right.
Granted, Jinder, his reign was a while back, but he could still at least be somebody for an interim feud.
Right.
You've got Ricochet.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up that tweet I saw there. Go ahead, keep going.
Sheamus, How awesome would it be to see either Sheamus or Cesaro go after Roman and then the bar reform?
That would be tremendous. I've been saying that for a hot minute. They both need to be in the same brand again and get it back together.
I mean,
trying to find
there's definitely contenders there, but they just need to be built. They need to be pushed. And that's, like I said, that's always been my issue.
Right. All right. So here's what, okay. And I'm going to give him full props for this. And I appreciate this. Thank you, Louis. This is from our buddy Louis Dangor, who was on the trivia stuff with Greg and I not too long ago. I didn't want to make the screen bigger. I want to make it go away. Damn it. Stupid controls. Ugh. Every once in a while it gets on my, there we go. Okay. So it said, where did it go? Balls. No, there it is. Here's a list of people he thinks will challenge Roman between now and WrestleMania. So this is coming up WrestleMania 38 next in April in Dallas. Goldberg, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. That's who he sees as the programs between now and Mania, which, again, those aren't all bad. But you figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus Lesnar between October and April. That's a 6-month period on Fox. That's a long time. Figure that's one per month.
Yeah.
Granted, not the worst thing in the world, but for the fast pace WWE's been picking up, not the good thing. By comparison, on Raw, you can have him feud with Edge, Lashley, Rollins, Owens, Styles, Orton, Balor, and Mysterio to help put Big E over as the guy in WWE. Again, this is Louis Dangor's tweet I'm throwing out there. You know, those guys, all those main event, and even Kevin Owens, Kevin and I will never get along as buddies, but I got to call talent where I see it. You know, those guys putting E over elevates E, elevates the title, elevates Raw back to high. We're still number one. Remember us? The flagship for a quarter century? Yeah, us. Hi. So SmackDown, yes, they are the A show now. Yes, they're on Fox now. But the talent pool that Roman has to deal with Lesnar and post Lesnar, not good for my money. You know, Goldberg, I wish beyond anything in my being that Lashley just spears Goldberg so fast he gets lost in the Sahara and never comes back. Bye-bye. Jeff Hardy, you and I have both gone back and forth about Jeff Hardy a lot in the last 11 years. A lot. He seems to have gotten his shit together. Cool on him. I have not seen him as a main eventer, even when he's been back in WWE as a singles guy without Matt yet. And I don't see that. I don't see him as anything above ICUS. Not a shot on him. Just since he dropped the WWE Championship to Edge, or excuse me, the World Championship to Punk, haven't seen it.
I agree. And, WWE, it's like, can they trust him again?
Right.
To put the strap on him and him not slide back to his demons.
Right. Kofi, again, they've got to get Kofi out of that I'm a goof stuff before they do anything with him, even make us believe that Roman will be remotely. Yeah, remember, this is the same Kofi Kingston that 2 years ago in the same general area I saw him defend the championship on the premiere of SmackDown on Fox, lost to Lesnar about 6 seconds. Do you think Roman's going to sweat Kofi Kingston? No, he's not going to. Sheamus has spent the last 2-3 months with a stupid thing on his face trying to prevent his nose from being broken, and it gets broken every week, and he can't beat Jeff Hardy or Damian Priest. I'm not as scared of him if I'm Roman Reigns. Drew, I worry about if I'm Roman Reigns. He's the only one of that list I worry about, legitimately, if I get past Lesnar in Saudi Arabia. And that's if McIntyre doesn't beat Big E, which could very well happen. So, and I don't want it to, but it could very well happen in 2 weeks. So that's where I stand there. The problem I have with WWE, you make a very good point. It's not so much that they're keeping the same guys in the same spots. It's the fact that they're not elevating people once they put people in new spots. Roman's been champion for a year, and a dominant champion at that. But he's beaten everybody he needs to beat. What does he do post-Lesnar besides Goldberg and Drew McIntyre? Nobody else, I believe it. Big E has a hill to climb, but he has the talent on that mountain to climb over and put him over. That's the difference there. Mm-hmm. So as far as 3 things from each brand, maybe not. But those are the ones we listed are so crucial. They feel like 3.
Yeah.
And as far as Impact or NWA, Impact, I hesitate to say this. I don't see Impact ever recovering from being how high they were and falling as quick as they did. They tried. God help them, they tried to go to war, and they got shot out of the sky like nothing. And it's not just on Hogan, just on Bischoff, just on Dixie. It's on everybody. And they have fought, scratched, clawed the last decade to get back where they are. And they're in a very good place now compared to where they were when you stopped watching full time. I'm not going to take that away from them. But they, for my money, and I'm sure for your money, will never be the company they were when we were easily throwing down our $10 a week just to see what they were going to do. They're not that company anymore. And they're not going to be.
You know, this word gets thrown around Hollywood a lot lately, but what TNA would need is a serious reboot.
Right.
And even with the Forbidden Door, I don't know if they can generate enough buzz. Maybe this streaming exclusive digital media championship will help them do that, but
Right.
they need something.
Yeah. I said this the other week and I stand by it. The fact that with all, and you remember, you weren't really involved at the time, but you heard a lot about it from me. The fact that after all the shit that went down, that Billy Corgan can actually have his talent work with the end up with TNA and vice versa is major. Because there was a lawsuit that probably some hush clauses that can't be talked about very much amongst the people involved, but the fact that, you know, Mickey is challenging for the Impact Knockouts Championship at Bound for Glory, and she's an NWA producer, is major. You know, the fact that Nick Aldis was there for as long as he was the champion and had not some nice things to say upon departure, and he's still willing to work. That's major for them. So, like I said, I don't think they'll ever get where they were, but they're definitely not where they were post Hogan at all. They've climbed out of that hole very nicely. Now, the NWA, I tend to be a little more biased, and that's my fault and my own thing, right? But the NWA is doing everything right now. They've got a television platform to an extent. They're on Fight TV every week. Yes, you have to pay for it, but it's still weekly television, and, you know, word of mouth is a beautiful thing, even in the internet age. Word of mouth is a beautiful thing. You know, the NWA, I'm willing to put down their 20 or 30, whatever is a month. AW for 50, I'm looking for a stream first, because that's a lot of money out of my pocket. Now, well, you're paying $10 a week, you know, $10 a month. So it's like, yeah, but that's $10 a month at WWE for their pay-per-views, plus shit I haven't seen in forever or stuff I want to see again.
Yeah.
You know, AW has a 2-year history. Do I want to pay $50 a month or a quarter, you know, to see stuff I see every week anyway? Or, you know, with the NWA, and again, for me, the NWA, the history, those letters, NWA, 10 pounds of gold, all that, you know, brings me in. Now, I am an AW fan for sure. I watch every Wednesday. I watch every Friday. I try to watch Dark and Elevation when I can, but I'm running an empire. I'm a busy man. What am I going to do here, you know? So, the NWA, I think, has a better chance to not necessarily overtake WWE, but definitely has a better chance to be a contender for everybody but AWWE. Like they're in that slot where they can be not ECW, because ECW never got, and I don't care what Paul says or ECW fans say, they were never in a position to be monetarily competitive or production value competitive with WWE and WCW. They just weren't. And that's a narrative that's been passed along the last 20 years, but it's the truth. NWA, with the Corgan resources, with everything they've got lined up with things, the only thing they don't have, wink, wink, is an actual TV deal. And in today's day and age, you don't need that. 99% of the wrestling audience has access to one of these, you know, something digital, not just a cable box like we have here in this room. So they're doing everything right for my money. I mean, that's really the long and short of it. I don't think they're doing anything detrimental to themselves yet at all. I don't think any, and when they did, they cut the cancer out. They had the thing with Lagana over the summer, and they hacked that cancer right out of the leg. It's done. Bye. That was it. Whether you like Dave or not, he was a problem, and they had to get rid of that problem, and they did without even blinking. So that was good. I mean, you've been following NWA as long as I have, as far as, with or without watching the business on a regular basis. You and I became NWA diehards because of Championship Wrestling Hollywood. So, and a lot of those talents are with the NWA now. So I think they're doing everything right. Impact's doing right, but they're doing what they can because they damaged the brand so bad.
Agreed.
So just our well, probably about a nickel, more than 2 cents there. So let's talk about tomorrow, my friend, because tomorrow you have another review coming up on the Custody Studios channel, and we'll be replaying it.
I was going to say, I actually see a question here in the comments that pertains to that.
Oh, yes, very much so. I kind of skipped by it. Thank you, Michael. Good job, Jay, for looking out. It scrolled up on me. I didn't see it, so very good. What are your go-to Halloween horror movies? I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea whatsoever. The whole saga, baby. I watched the theatrical of Curse today on purpose. Woofa. 5 is worse, but the Curse is still woofa.
I mean, the sarcastic answer would be, tune in every day on Renegades Reviews this month to find out.
Exactly. I read
like,
that trailer a few minutes ago.
My classic Universal monsters, those, first and foremost, those are my go-tos.
Yes, definitely.
Outside of that,
yes,
outside of that bubble, like your hat represents, I do enjoy some of the Michaels. There's still a few that I haven't seen.
Right.
And there's others that I have seen and I'd like to forget having seen. But, 1, 2, H2O, I can pretty much solidly get behind those.
Right.
Friday the 13th, the first 4.
Yeah,
anything from 5 on is questionable.
Honestly, we tend to defer to the Godfather Bruce, if you will, on the Friday the 13th rep there.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely moments from 5 through 10,
right?
But I can't stand behind a single full movie.
I still maintain the Resurrection in 6 is the best Resurrection in horror. I will die on that hill. The lightning rod in the chest is tremendous. It's funnier now.
Nightmare on Elm Street, give me 1 and 3 and I'm good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can watch the others. I don't hate on them as much as I do some of the Jasons or the Michaels.
Yeah.
But give me 1 and 3 and I'm good when it comes to Freddy.
Now let me ask you this. Have you seen the last 2, besides the reboot with Mark Hamill, not theatrical, but the last 2 full-length Chucky movies?
Cult and Curse, yes. I own both of those.
Because I know Chucky was your guy, so I just want to make sure you've seen
Chucky is still my guy. Yes. 1, 2, Bride, Cult, Curse.
Really? Not a fan of 3 either, huh?
No.
Huh.
No. I didn't like the way they jump-aged Andy. Well, and then some of the other little things in there I was just meh about.
What was good about 3 and Bride, though, is I didn't realize this until very recently. They literally take place in the same month or so time span, because it's in 1998 when he's at boot camp or whatever they call it, the school, and then less than a month later is when Tiffany bribes the policeman to get the stuff out of the locker. I didn't realize it was right there near each other, which is why it was perfect to bring Alex Vincent back for Curse and Colt, because he's the same age, so it worked out perfectly. I am very excited about Tuesday. I'll tell you that right now. I cannot wait until the premiere of that. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a huge, huge week when you think about it. You've got Chucky on the 12th. You've got the premiere of our buddy's fan film, You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, on the 13th. I'm seeing Halloween Kills on the 14th. and then off we go to the rest of the month, man. But this weekend, you and I are going to be a few different cities, even though it's only really one city. We're going to be in Haddonfield, in Hill Valley, and wherever the hell Pee Wee Herman lives in Big Adventure. Because we're going to be, you and I, heading out to Pasadena. Oh, wait, sorry. This is Pete's Dragon. Pasadena. If you get that reference, I love you for that. Out in this area. I mean, we're going to be at all these locations and then some. Yes, the Myers house, Laurie's house, the school. The one in the upper right is actually the alternate Myers house from the dreaded Rob Zombie era, which JJ loves oh so much. And then Linda and Annie's houses, and yes, the infamous hedge. But that graphic is actually not up to date anymore because they added, I forgot her name, I'm an asshole, an actress from the new trilogy to that signing. But Nick Castle, PJ Souls, Will Sandin from the original Halloween 1978, the current Michael, James Jude Courtney, and Chris Nelson, who was the special effects guy for the current trilogy, along with JJ's looking it up, so I'm going to go and let him look it up. But that's going to be a huge thing for the Sugar Mint Gallery, let alone for us to go as fans. So that's going to be awesome.
Carmela McNeil.
Thank you very much, Carmela McNeil. So that's going to be huge. That's coming up this Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and cut to the end here because I have
just announced.
Yeah, yes.
As of 5 hours ago, your buddy is going to be cosplaying that night.
Oh, is the real Michael Myers going to be there?
Because
he told me he was going to be there. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh wait, is there more than one? Because this is _real Michael.
That's him. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a few different Michaels out there that do the gallery or whatever, but yeah, the real Michael Myers, the one you talk about, is the one. Oh, that's cool because he told me at the rap party he was going to be there, so that's awesome. I'm glad he decided to show up. Yay, very cool. Well, we'll see Michael on Saturday then. Very cool. That'll make our day. We actually get a picture with Michael in front of the house. That'll be awesome. So,
that's right.
On that note, I do appreciate everybody being here for the hour and a half. I expected to go this long, so I was happy. Thank you, JJ, for popping in for the first and last segments. Again, at the top of the hour, which is less than 2 minutes away. Now it's actually, let me get the clock up here. There we go. Minute and a half to go, and JJ's gone. Minute and a half to go. We'll be coming up with the Nerdy Q review over on the Nerdy Q channel. So stay tuned for that. Go over to nerdyq.com for that, not stay here. I'm not going to be on that. So check out Nerdy Q. We'll see you guys tomorrow here on Renegades Replay. Renegades, let's see, where to go? There we go. Renegades Review Replay with JJ for the Mummy. But of course, check his show out at 6 o'clock first because he needs YouTube views, damn it. So get him the views up. For the love of God, people, I beg of you. And that's it. Anything else you want to throw, my friend?
No, I'm good.
All right. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow and Monday back to your regular time slot on Talk Wrestling. Have a great night.